the song that everybody was singing around Winnipeg for a couple of weeks, just a week or so ago. And it is now the theme song, I guess, that we'll accept for a number of years to come when the Winnipeg Jets get into playoff action, because the arena was rocking in a way it has never rocked, really, when the Jets went to the playoffs against both Calgary and the Edmonton Oilers recently. Good guys wear white, and the good guys, of course, were the Winnipeg Jets, and they have now been with us for 15 years. Instead of happy birthday celebrations, we thought that we'd give you a chance to relive all those 15 years with the hockey team that has become synonymous with the city of Winnipeg. And a man who's been with the Jets for 8 of the 15 seasons, I guess 9 when you count the WHA years, John Ferguson, the general manager. And Fergie, I guess that even though you were a Montreal Canadian for many, many years, a Jets logo is now the one that's tattooed on you, because you've been here for, it seems like, eons now.
Well, it certainly is, Peter, and that's something we have now. We've got a great nucleus, and we're going to get better. There's going to be real good things happening over the years to come.
You suffered through some of the bleak years, of course, early, when you knew that you were going to be your back against the wall because of the way that you had to enter the NHL, depleted of the talent that you built up in the WHA. Now the light at the end of the tunnel is finally hit, and I think during the playoffs, that's the feeling I got from fans. Sure, you lost to the Edmonton Oilers, but people see that this has got a great future, this hockey club.
Well, we've got a good young defense, and plus the major fact is we've preserved all our draft choices over the years, and we're going to reap the benefits now. And, you know, other clubs have traded them away, and we've just stockpiled them. And we've had them, and we've got some good graduating seniors at the U.S. colleges, some top first-rounders that we've already drafted playing Major Junior A, and we have some real good youngsters in Sherbrooke who are still going to the Calder Cup. So we're pretty happy with our base.
You have to be ecstatic going into the draft this year, pretty well sitting on a high horse with all the choices you got coming out of college. Maybe some people will be coming to you around draft time.
Well, I think so. We're going to get a good player this time around. The draft this year is in Detroit, and for the first time. And we will have a real good player. Probably won't play next year, but certainly will in 2 or 3 years from now.
You know, we had the reunion here in Winnipeg back last September. You were a big part of that, of course, and you got to relive some of those magic moments. I know you're going to sit back and enjoy tonight because you have some fond memories of this city.
I certainly do. It's a great city.
All right, Fergie, thank you very much. Congratulations on the 15-year anniversary of the Jets, all the celebrations that went on all year long, and we hope that you will sit back and relive some of these great moments because you were a big, big part of most of them. Good guys wear white. The 15-year tribute to the Winnipeg Jets continues right after this.
We'll all wear white. White. White is right. If Winnipeg white, we'll wear white. White is right. It's the Winnipeg white.
Here in our CKY-TV studios as we present Good Guys Wear White. Where were you in '72? Not that famous Canada-Russia series. If you were in Winnipeg, it meant you were around to witness the birth of the Winnipeg Jets.
In the beginning, there was Ben Hatskin and the dream to form the World Hockey Association. He needed a cornerstone upon which to build, and that was provided by the signing for the Winnipeg franchise of Bobby Hull on June 27, 1972. The Chicago Blackhawks superstar provided instant credibility for the WHA. Jets captain Ad McDonald scored the first goal in WHA history on October 12, 1972 against the New York Raiders. Then in this game, the next night, Duke Asmundson scored the winner as the Jets edged the Minnesota Fighting Saints 4-3. The first 2 seasons were dominated by the luxury line, Hull, Chris Bordelot, and Norm Bodan. Then in 1974, the Swedish invasion brought a new excitement to the Winnipeg Jets. Valentine's Day 1975, with his new line mates Ulf Nielsen and Anders Hedberg helping out, Bobby Hull beats Houston's Ron Graham 3 times to give him a total of 50 goals in 50 games, equaling the record of Rocket Richard. The Jets didn't make the playoffs that spring, but Hull left the fans in ecstasy when in the final game of the season against the San Diego Mariners, he took a pass from Hedberg and scored his 77th goal, breaking Phil Esposito's single-season scoring record. The next season brought with it the birth of goon tactics in the WHA, and the increase in violence prompted Hull to stage a boycott in protest. That 1975-76 season also brought the Jets their first Avco Cup championship. It began in Houston in late May, and the Jets won both games by 1 goal. Then, back in Winnipeg, they made it look easy. A 6-3 win, sparked by Hedberg, Peter Sullivan, and Veli-Pekka Katola. And then a 9-1 rout that sent captain Lars-Erik Sjoberg around the ice with the Avco Cup. The next season, another great achievement. February 6th, Anders Hedberg shrugs off knee ligament damage, takes a pass from Billy Lasuk, and beats Calgary's Gary Bromley with his 50th goal. He later added an empty netter, 51 goals in 47 games. It was a season of unending injuries for the Jets, but in the playoffs, they were healthy enough to oust the Houston Aeros. It took 6 games, but Gordie Howe and his teammates were on the sidelines, and the Jets in their second straight Avco Cup final. But they didn't have enough left to beat the Quebec Nordiques. Each team won once in the other team's building. The Jets took Game 6 at home, but lost Game 7 in Quebec City and relinquished the cup to the Nordiques. The next season would provide some of the greatest memories in the history of the Winnipeg Jets. 8 local businessmen saved the franchise. And on the ice, the Jets continued their fine tradition of play against international competition. A trip to Japan to play the Soviet national team was undertaken following their impressive wins in these games. Peter Sullivan scoring here to give the Jets a 6-4 win over a Soviet club team. Then against the Czechoslovakian national team, Sullivan and Anders Hedberg dazzle veteran goaltender Yuri Chira as the Jets again emerge victorious. January 5th, 1978, the Jets' finest hour in international hockey. Bobby Hull leads the Jets against the Soviet national team, which had tied the Montreal Canadiens only 5 nights before. Hull, Hedberg, and Nielsen showed they were one of the greatest lines in hockey history. Nielsen scored to give the Jets a 4-3 lead. Then late in the game, Dave Crisco sends Big Dave Dunn in on the right side. He sets up Hull, who beats Vladislav Tretiak with his 3rd goal. The Jets upset the greatest of Soviet national teams 5-3, sending the Jet players and 10,000 fans into delirium. But that was just the beginning. On March 3rd against the Cincinnati Stingers, Hull scores his 999th career goal. Then after 3 games of frustration, March 11th in Quebec City, Barry Long leads a rush, and a perfect pass in the goal mouth gives the Golden Jet his 1,000th Major League goal. Hull was mobbed by his teammates and cheered by the Nordique fans. But back home 2 nights later, Hull was duly honored, including a surprise visit from his parents flown in by the Jets to celebrate with their son. That year, in the first round of the playoffs, the Jets were matched against the roughhouse Birmingham Bulls, and a new hero emerged. With the hotline closely checked, Bobby Guindon took the leadership role, and his line with Crisco and Lyle Moffat led the way, sending Frank Mahovlich and the Bulls to the sideline. The Jets' 3rd straight Avco Cup final started in Springfield, Massachusetts after a 19-day delay, but Bobby Guindon didn't seem affected. He scored 2 goals, both set up by Moffat, as the Jets won the series opener over New England 4-1. Game 2 of the series. Dan LeBratton, just back from a serious injury, opens the scoring on a breakaway. Then Mike Amodio spots Lyle Moffat in front for a 2-0 first period lead. Guindon makes it 3-0, and Anders Hedberg puts it away. The Jets win 5-2 for a 2-game lead in the series. Back home for Game 3, the Jets were awesome. Bobby Guindon scores to start a 6-goal first-period outburst, and when Lyle Moffat converts Dave Dunn's blue line blast, the Jets had devastated New England 10-2. Game 4 starts with a special presentation to Bobby Hull by Ben Hatskin. Anders Hedberg broke a 2-2 tie with a deflection of a Lars-Erik Schubert shot. The winning goal was a memorable one. Nothing fancy, Hull tapping in a setup from Nielsen and Hedberg. But after 4 years and hundreds of goals together, a special embrace in their last pro game together. Hedberg clinches this one with an empty netter. The 5-3 win gives the Jets their 2nd Avco Cup championship. And that meant yet another parade down Portage Avenue for Coach Larry Hillman, the mainstay of the Jets defense, veteran Teddy Green, and the rest of the Jets. More than 100,000 people, according to the estimates, and hundreds more joined the Jets later to celebrate the victory and to bid farewell to Hedberg and Nielsen, lured by John Ferguson to the NHL's New York Rangers.
My regard to Broadway, remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old-time throng. Give my regards to old Broadway and say that I'll be there ere long.